Tired of the silence, the sugar-coated lies. Another headline screaming behind vacant eyes. They build up their walls so high and so strong, but the truth's gonna break through before too long. Every single day, the same damn old game, pointing all the fingers, nobody takes the blame. This pressure's building, it's starting to crack. Ain't no turning back now, ain't no holding back. I'm about to say it, yeah, I'm about to scream. Tired of the fake smiles, living in a dream. The real life's bleeding out in the cold. Gotta break the mold, gotta let it unfold. I'm about to say it, every single word. The uncomfortable truth finally gonna be heard. I'm gonna say it.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hashtag I'm Gonna Say It. Lori, welcome in, bestie. How are you? I hope all is well with you. Y'all, listen, I'm still thinking about the show we did yesterday, but and in doing so this morning, I woke up. I'm hard headed, y'all. Hey, sis, I'm hard headed, y'all. Like, if you tell me not to do something, or if I feel like you are possibly withholding information and I know where to go get it, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go check it out. I want to know why you not telling me everything I need to know, right? And so that's one of the issues I was not necessarily an issue, but one of the things I was doing this morning on my ride to and from. I've been wondering about this book of Enoch. And so I've been watching videos on that and trying to research and study and see why was that left out of the Bible, and the one thing I am watching is I inquisitive. That's right, sis. I'm inquisitive. She said I'm inquisitive. I got to see for myself. Yeah, yeah. That's a good way of putting it. That's exactly where I'm at with it. I got to see for myself because to me, if you're not willing, first of all, as important as the Bible is, if this is omitted from the Bible, I got to know like why is that like, and so if they're not going to teach it, if we're not going to hear about it, then I'll go find it myself. And of course, there's other books that we need to, or that I need to look into as well. But I'm starting with this one for sure because this seems like this is the one that I hear about the most. And I'm not gonna lie, the video I have been watching, it's it's quite interesting. Not, I guess interesting is a word I could use, but it's really telling, I should say. I think I like that better. It's telling. Sis said like 17 books were left out because they wanted to control us. And this proves that. The video that I am watching, and y'all know me long enough. Y'all know me long enough to know I don't gatekeep information. You want the link, I'll provide the link for you so you can watch it yourself, and hear. I'm doing good, Lori. Thank you for asking. I'm doing really good. Um, so yesterday we had that um show and we talked about uh the things that's pertaining to the new world order and where they think it could be, or they think they found the land of where it could be. And we always talked about in pictures and when I say pictures, I'm talking about movies, TV shows, and even in songs. So in songs, it talk when you listen to music and songs, they put forth stuff or they talk about stuff that if you not paying attention, it'll go over your head. And so we put on the table yesterday on how after that event happened in September of 2001, and how the person that was in charge of our country then kept mentioning New World, the New World Order, and how they wanted to implement that or put that in place. And so, and we talked about that yesterday. We talked about the movie Borat. It They showed us this place in that movie, but they made it seem like it was third world. Um, and what we saw in yesterday's video proves that it's not. It's completely not. And talked about the 200 fallen angels. So if you missed that, look, go back and look at it. It's in the hashtag I'm gonna say it folder here. Uh, Before we get started in today's show, do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. When you come in, please hit that thumbs up button, comment, and please hit the thumbs up button. That's like really important. That and subscribing to the channel. That's important here. So do those things, right? That's all we really ask here. Um, so today we're going to go a little further with that. We're going to talk about something that's going on now and why things have to happen or are happening and the plans of our gov. You know, believe it or not, we often get caught up in arguing over which party is better. Hold on. Which party is
Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles, accidentally confirmed.
not that one? Hold on. Which party is better? Who's trying to hurt us more? And all of that, right? But the thing about it is, it's really all a design for them to work together and hold us in this. It's like my sister said earlier a few minutes ago. It's a controlling thing, and it's some things that have taken place and happened. And what we're doing is also pointing these things out because not only does the Bible mention a lot of these events are going to happen in the end times, but it's also pointing or bringing light or enlightening you that the gov is doing this on purpose as well. So a lot of times it's not what party's better, what party's not when they're all in unison together. My sister Jasmine Crockett has always fought for us. She's a good one. She's a good one. And they try to slander her. And of course they try to keep her quiet too. And that's not going to happen. You know, my sister said the new Mel Gibson Passion movie is supposed to have the Ethiopian Bible version included in the movie. I want to see that. I want to see that for sure. Um, Thank y'all for coming in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. So today we're going to talk about when it comes to why there's a sense of urgency or why we feel like it should be a sense of urgency for people to start growing their own food. We've already talked about the McDonald's and the restaurants and what that meat contains and things of that nature. We've talked about that before. But guys, it's serious. It's getting. I would say it's getting serious, but it already is serious. It's time when you have to grow your own food and be careful and mindful about what you're putting in your body. And so let's talk about that today. Let's cover that today. This is an airplane, and there's things like light going through it and stuff. That's not the part, but this is the opening. Robbery, sure. I like that. FC said pro
Well,
tip.
here we go,
Yellow snow
folks.
is not lemon
More
flavor.
and more
It's true.
every hour, there is something that comes out. And again, I want to give you these reports. I'm just going through what was on my timeline as I opened X. And I'm not doing it to scare you, but I am doing it to show you the sign of the times and to prepare you because we are in the last days. What did I tell you about medication? When it comes to, let me move myself over. Sorry, I'm a little bit off. But what did I tell you about medication and the shortage that we were already facing because about half
Sister,
of
they
our
even use
generic
pesticide
drugs
on veggies
come
and
from India.
fruits
Right
that
now,
won't
they're
wash
out
off.
of oil. I mean,
Exactly.
they are,
Hey, hold on, let me
they may
pause
just
this
have
real
a few
quick.
days left.
I'm gonna read this so y'all can hear me, and you know when because people on other platforms that we post this on can't see the comments, so that's why I read the comments. I know if you're in here, you can see it, but people on other platforms don't. So that's why I'm reading it. My sister said they're even using pesticide on veggies and fruits that won't wash off. That's important because this is what we're going to talk about here as well. Um, they're also no longer do we have the place where we can get medicines from. But see, here's the thing: they put all that stuff on there so we can keep having to take medicine because of the stuff that we're eating and ingesting is not good for us, right? However, due to having a cheddar color code leader who is a false president, has made the jerk knee decision to go over here and start a war that we don't need to be in. Just listen. I'm not going to tell you. You just listen. Just listen. Lori said that video from yesterday was just wow, wasn't it? That's what prompted me to go and start looking up this book of Enoch. I needed to see, what am I missing? Didn't you see YouTube Prosperous was used, no, YT Prosperous, sorry, was used on Palestinians and Lebanon. Facts. Facts. You're talking about the white stuff that they put over and it fell down, and it actually, y'all get this, it actually permeates through the skin and like burns it off. It burns the flesh off, like crazy stuff, man. But this is all designed and all planned.
But they're not able to keep up any type of production, let alone with the other things that come from there in other parts of the world, where none of them can keep up production, not only within their own country, but then how is it going to be transported here? They don't have the oil to transport or bring these things over.
Lori
And
said
jet fuel
acid
now
rain.
is
True.
skyrocketing, and there's a shortage of that as well. So anything that's flown over, that's also being affected. But now we have this. And understand this is all planned. As I've told you, this is what they're doing in order to get us ready for the new reset. Actually, the beast system is coming online. People think of it as just a global reset, and then it'll take, decades to recover from. But they don't want any recovery, right?
That's
They
what-
are
yep.
hitting things that will
Sis.
cause famine, to cause people who need life-saving medication to die. All of this is part of the depopulation that they need. And then the rest of us that will be left over will be in complete enslavement. I've been showing you this. This is their plan. And it's not just the Bible saying how this is part of it and it's biblical, but the experts. People are atheists, scientists, the experts in all these different fields are ringing the alarm on what is going on. But they're doing it on purpose. They're hitting energy. They're hitting medical supply. They're hitting food manufacturers. None of it makes any sense unless you think that you are bringing in a new world order. But we know it as the beast system because they see the same signs that Jesus talked about. And I just did a video about true history. And when I tell you, they all know. They know the Bible is true. They know true history. They know how everything has been a lie. They know about all this. Everyone in our government, all the governments around the world, they know it.
It got us
So
messed
I don't
up.
want anyone to get confused. Like, what are we doing? How come this is happening? And all this was always part of the plan. Not only, like I said, I want to reiterate, not just what the Bible says, but they say it. They literally say it in literature, in movies, and it has been part of it. Right? So the World Economic Forum, but that's just the name, right, that's given. But we know who rules, we know who reigns on this fallen world. So it says breaking. Iran has bombed Israel's Teva, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, pharmaceutical factory, largest generic
So they
prescription
will keep
drug
prices after
manufacturer
this conflict is
on
over,
Earth.
just like C-19. No
On
lies
Earth, guys.
detected.
Secondary explosions were reported along with chemical leaks as the factory can be seen burning, massive global implications. So let's just look at this.
It's crazy. Showing videos of the strike and it's smoke bellowing everywhere.
Yeah, well, I did.
All right, so you get the idea there. Let's go into this. So I'm going to, let's see what he has here. He's showing the Teva pharmaceutical damage assessment. I'll try to blow that up in a second, but let's go ahead and read this. Nobody is telling you how messed up the global pharmaceutical supply chain actually is right now. Iran hit Teva Pharmaceutical, the single largest generic drug manufacturer on earth. Chemical leaks reported at the factory. Secondary explosions confirmed. The facility is burning. Here's what happens when Teva goes offline. Teva supplies generic medications to every major country on earth. They produce treatments for cancer, cardiovascular disease, respiratory conditions, neurological disorders. Hospitals in the US, Europe, and Asia depend on Teva's supply chains. There is no substitute manufacturer at this scale. Generic drug shortages were already at crisis levels before the war. Now watch the domino effect. Teva factory burns, production stops. Drug shortages within weeks in hospitals worldwide. Prices for generic medications surge. Insurance systems buckle under cost increases. Patients in developing countries where generics are the only option lose access entirely. Iran didn't need to bomb a hospital. They bombed the factory that keeps hospitals running. One factory, one night in the medicine that billions of people depend on just got a lot harder to find. Prepare accordingly. Okay, so this is the full image, and I'll under me, I just popped myself off. It says chemical leak hazard radius. So that is the radius for the chemical leak. I believe this is what is in the yellow rate, like as it's going out. I'm assuming that's what it is. But it says this is the damage zone, chemical leak active. The wind direction is east. Secondary explosions confirmed. Facility status burning. Cancer drugs supply critical. So cardiovascular shortage imminent. Respiratory at risk 50%, and neurological disrupted. Generic market no substitute 85%. So you can see that there, guys.
He released 10
like I told
plagues
you,
for
they're going to
Passover, so a
continue to
ritual
destroy
blood sacrifice.
everything we need.
Yeah.
Food, oil, gas, like there's medication,
Me too, Lord.
everything. They need to
I need all
destroy
that.
it. Like I said, I want to reiterate for depopulation, but
Hands rim
to
it up.
also usher in the new world order. This is part of it. And as you can see, this is the beast system
Yeah, you're right,
destroying
right.
everything that's that we need, life-saving medication, resources that we need to live, right? Water as well is another thing that's been hit. But this is what they want. This is no accident, like out of the blue. This is happening. And again, this is also happening while we're seeing over 1 million acres in Nebraska that is still burning of farmland.
Yes, that is
As
true.
we're seeing multiple food manufacturers that have been bombed or blown up, like the largest egg manufacturer here in the US, suddenly it just caught on fire and blew up. And this is a series of things that have been happening over the past year. But now everyone is paying attention to it. So where is all this coming from? Why are people just blowing it up? And no, it's not all these accidents that are happening. That's on purpose. Now, this is outside of the war, which things are being targeted deliberately. But you have to start putting these dots together. None of it makes sense unless this is controlled chaos. Out of chaos comes order. That is actually what is on our money in Latin. Oh, joy. With that, guys, did you hear about this? So not only a global energy lockdown, but a new COVID variant, BA 3.2, detected across multiple U.S. states. Wow, isn't that fun? And in the midst of all of this, we have this to look forward to. Because I told you, they need more pandemics to come out. They've said it. They've said it. Guys, part of the mark of the beast, the patch that they're going to put on with the quantum dots is also to deliver your vaccines. That they said the multiple vaccines that will be needed for the pandemics. Multiple people have said it, but I think the one I've played the most is Tony Blair, where he's like, oh, didn't mean to say that. And of course, he was at the World Economic Forum when he did.
A new COVID variant is spreading across the US, and it may be able to evade protection from current vaccines. The variant, known as BA.3.2, has been detected in nasal swabs taken from 4 American travelers and clinical samples from 5 patients in 4 unidentified states. It's also been found in 3 airplane wastewater samples and 132 wastewater samples taken in more than 20 states, suggesting that its reach could be more widespread than currently thought. BA.3.2 was first detected in South Africa in 2024 and in the US in June 2025, in a traveller from the Netherlands. The variant began really surging in September 2025 and has since been reported in 23 countries. BA.3.2 has been found in these states, and the consequences of this evasive variant largely remain to be seen. The new strain could warrant updating current vaccines, which only target JN1 subvariants, the dominant COVID variant in 2024, and provide protection against predominant US variants. There have been more than 3,600 COVID deaths so far this year, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention data shows. However, COVID deaths have fallen since last year, as have positive COVID tests and emergency room visits for infections.
Well, I guess they had to re-up it since the numbers from the first pandemic were falling. No one's paying attention, but now, it's
So why is that important, you may ask? Well, that's important because they're saying, hey, well, look, if these people aren't getting sick, they're not going to need to purchase medicine. And if they don't need to purchase medicine, then we're not going to make money. You know, this is one of the reasons Dr. Sebi is no longer here with us. And countless others. I'm sure there's others who wanted to expose or enlighten people on how to cure certain things using natural remedies, herbal remedies. And of course, the pharmaceuticals, the big wigs in the pharmaceutical industry couldn't have that. So as you just heard her say, well, since, you know, these things are telling off, we've got to invent or come up with a new one that's going to get them sick again so they can start needing the medication. Yeah. That's our gov.
it's a new variant, more deadlier, more risk.
They know this.
But outside of that, did I report on this? No, I actually posted it on X. Had to be a couple days ago. But look at this. Americans warned to stay inside and lock windows as toxic air spreads across South. Every living thing is exposed. Every breath we take is contaminated. How long can you hold your breath? Good grief. Good grief. And of course, this isn't man-made. This isn't part of the process to poison us in the air, the chemtrails, all that stuff going on. But now this, guys, deadly dust.
Stay indoors advisories issued in multiple U.S. states as life-threatening toxins fill the air. That's from MSN. Also
Don't
from
wanna be working
MSN,
out?
Americans warned to stay inside and lock windows as toxic air spreads across the South.
Chrissy,
Newsweek
welcome
also
to
covered the
investing.
expansive toxic air mass that
How are
prompted
you?
dangerous air quality warnings from Arizona to the Carolinas. Newsweek further stated, quote,
Yeah,
the cause of
finally.
the elevated pollution levels was not immediately clear. Really? Not
Okay, well,
clear?
I'm
No
glad
idea?
you're feeling better. But we would
Newsweek's
definitely keep praying
cluelessness
for
or
you.
cover-up about the contamination sources should come as no surprise. Certainly there are many contributing factors, but the elephant in the equation that is always and intentionally completely omitted are the climate engineering weather warfare atrocities raging in skies all over the world. Endless parades of geoengineering jets spewing their massive payloads of sky-covering, highly toxic nanoparticle filth into our atmosphere, all of which, of course, settles to the surface, where every living thing is exposed.
Now, every living thing is exposed. So this means, like, even when you have the crops out there that the farmers are trying to, harvest for us and stuff like that, these things are getting tainted. These things are getting tainted, y'all.
Every breath we take, contaminated. Question: how long can you hold your breath?
Child, they're really trying to take us out. Oh, this is fun. Denver imposes water restrictions, orders restaurants to serve only on request. I'm not even digging into that story right now. There's just too much going on.
Now this
Oh,
is
here's
local.
another
Listen
one.
to this.
Oh, there's been so many. There was also with the when we were talking about the airlines, TSA, all the stuff going on. There was also, I got to follow up on it. Last night or yesterday, there was supposed to be a terrorist threat on a plane. And this is with all the other stuff, planes crashing, running into stuff. There is a shortage, I believe they said, of 40,000 pilots right now. There are a shortage. There is a shortage of 4,000, over 4,000 of the I can't think of the name of it.
Who, when they came in the office, fired a lot of people from the air traffic controlling system, and it was talking about DEI and all of this. I can't remember who it was, but somebody laid off a lot of people who were qualified to do this job, laid them off, and now all of this is going on.
The of the controllers, like the air traffic, not air traffic controllers, but the people in the tower. I don't know why this is slipping my
Yeah, no,
mind, but
no,
I
it's air
think it's
traffic
air
control.
traffic controllers. Yeah, that's it. That they are shortage. There's a shortage of, if in case you're wondering. So there's a crisis across the board with our airlines. But now look at this. Panic breaks out on board Delta Airlines Airbus to Atlanta after engine failure with visible fire forces return to Sao Paulo.
Now, you can actually see in the video, Rita, good morning, bestie. You can actually see right here in the video the flames coming from the airplane, from the engine. You see it. And now I want you to listen to what these passengers on this plane is screaming and yelling out. Now, these people are in the sky. They see the flames shooting out of the engine of the plane. You hear him screaming, Jesus? I'm playing that, and I'm saying this because I want you to let that be a lesson, a note, a reminder, something to not wait till the last minute and think that you can call on him and then he's going to come save you. No, listen, get right now. Get right now with him.